and then we get into some other different fun stuff with the rest of the teams in the West. The Wests.
What's this is?
Yeah.
The Westises.
Yep.
The Westises. All right. Well, do we start with our mutual, like, absolute hatred for Russell Wilson?
Oh yeah, that's a perfect place to start right here.
All right. Is there a cornier quarterback in the entire history of the NFL than Russell Wilson? Yes or no?
Before I answer that, do you have a what was it, Wolverine blood going through your veins right now?
Me?
No, it's
what is it?
It's Badger.
Wolverine. No, he has Wolverine blood. What was the quote? He just dropped a quote. He said he has Wolverine blood.
No, he didn't.
I'll
Me?
Google it. Yeah, Russell Wilson says he has Wolverine.
Oh,
blood.
Russell Wilson. Who knows what that idiot said,
guy.
dude? Man, I'll tell
you.
I'll be honest with you guys, and I've got friends who are Broncos fans, and frankly, I don't care. I could not be happier that the Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson experiment has gotten off to such a shitty start. And it's just fantastic every week to watch them just completely crumble. And the funniest part about the Russell Wilson thing to me is he had the lat injury last week, and then this week he's got his boy Ian Rappaport tweeting that Russell Wilson got his hamstring checked out. It's a real injury. He's in real pain. Dude, if you have to have people throw out that caveat, you are reaching so hard. The best thing that he could do is probably just like pack it in for the rest of the season and hope everybody forgets how embarrassing this has been for him.
Yeah. So reporters asked him why he heals so quickly. And he's like, I don't know. I heal quickly. It's Wolverine blood. And I'm trying to think, where is the Wolverine? Like, oh, does he mean like the X-Men Wolverine? Because I was like,
I'm pretty sure he means
he's
X-Men
from Wisconsin.
Wolverine.
I was trying to think like in a football sense where this Wolverine factors in. He plays for the Broncos.
It's just classic Russell Wilson trying to be cool and just not being cool, man. Like that's what it is. He just tries to be funny, tries to be cool. When all the college quarterbacks like Spencer Rattler and the dude from West Virginia and all those guys started coming out with the Let's Ride videos after Russell Wilson did that, he thought they legitimately were doing that because they thought it was cool and they weren't trolling him. I'm like,
oh no,
dude, you're out of your mind. You think that's cool? Everyone on the internet's making fun of this guy.
I know.
I don't know if we want to keep piling on, but have you guys seen the new Danger Witch Subway commercial?
Oh, it got taken off the internet. Subway took it down. Russell had to take it down.
Of course, because Russell Wilson cleans all this stuff off the internet. It's, you know,
all the
money to
all the dangerous ways to eat a sandwich. He's like the drop it low, and he like squats and like, oh my god,
dude, he is everything he does is cringe, guys. But you guys saw the video of him.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Definitely. That's just his personality. I think that's just who he is. Like,
look at what happened after he leaves Seattle. Pete Carroll gets to run it the way he wants to, which is, hey, Gino, we don't need you to be, Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson. We just need you to be Geno Smith. We're going to, play really good defense, or not really good. We're going to play, decent defense. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to ask you to make some throws, but not crazy, like super hard. We're going to have you do, 1,000, back-to-back, like loop-de-loops and, look downfield, point a couple times, and then throw it. We're just going to have you, play action and, get it out there to the tight end. And it's working. You know what I mean? That's what Pete Carroll wants. And he wants a guy who's going to be like, Pete, I'm with you. Let's do this. Not, hey, Pete, we're going to do what I want to do. And it's weird that Russ just none of the like offensive coordinators have worked out. It looks like Nathaniel Hackett's not going to work out. It's just weird to see.
Yeah. Hackett can't hack it.
Nathaniel Hackett looks like he's got like, I don't know, man. He just looks like he's got oatmeal in his head sometimes. Like instead of British, just like, what are you doing? And then did you guys hear like, so they were, I can't remember who it was. Somebody put out an article. I think it was The Athletic. Put out an article after week 2 or 3 that was talking about how Hackett has or had a coach in the box that basically talked him through directly in his ear, talked him through situational like 4th down calls and like timeouts and stuff like that. It's like, how do you do that when you're trying to process information and you're listening to somebody else say something like that just seems insane to me, man. Like, this seems very well. I mean, the reason they hired him is because they wanted to get Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like they thought they had A-Rod and it didn't work out. So they're like, oh, we'll trade for us. Good luck.
Yeah.
And it
didn't
hurts
that guy...
every time that the Niners lost to this guy and that team.
Oh, dude, I bet.
And wasn't that situational coach like someone who was already retired and they had to pull him out of retirement and be like, hey,
I think so. Yeah. I don't remember the guy's name, but yeah, I think so. Well, and it's a weird situation because like their offensive coordinator has never been an offensive coordinator before. Their defensive coordinator has never been more than like a D-line coach, I think, or is a position coach. But it's like, man, I mean, for all the hype they had coming into the offseason and stuff, it's like, what? Why do you guys think you're going to be the best team in the AFC West? I mean, I understand Russell Wilson has had some success, but the dude hadn't been to a Super Bowl since 2014. It's been 8 years. So
it was a lot of unproven players on that squad who felt like, that's it. This is our Super Bowl. We got it. And it just didn't equal up.
It was like, well, the Broncos roster is a lot more loaded than the Seahawks. What? There's not a person like Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton are very good players, but they are not DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess from my standpoint, just knowing what the Broncos roster has been constructed of for the last 3-4 years, like, yeah, you could say they're a quarterback away, but that quarterback would have to be like Aaron Rodgers or, a Patrick Mahomes type guy or a Herbert or somebody like that. Not 5'10" Russell Wilson. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't think this was going to go well for him from the get-go, and just like disliking Russ's personality as much as I do, coupled with just a lifelong disdain for the Broncos. I love this. I love watching this. It's fantastic, guys. I'm sure y'all love it too.
It's giving me such. Do you guys remember that Eagles team with like Mike Vick and then like Nnamdi Asomugha got added and he was like, we're a super team, and everyone was like, well, you guys haven't done anything. Yeah,
you went 9-7. Congrats.
That's like they were giving me such like they believed they were a super team vibes, and I was just like, let's pump the brakes. I don't think Russell is really gonna take them to that next level. Did anyone watch that Chargers Broncos game that happened?
Part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I heard it was tough to watch. I didn't want to even.
The second half was terrible.
It's just two bad coaches going at it. Who could be worse?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get into the Brandon Staley of it all.
Oh man, this guy. What in his mind is like, yeah, I'm gonna go for like what when you have like that in cartoons where it's like the little angel and the little devil. He doesn't have the little angel like telling him to punt. He just has the two little devils like, let's just go for it, baby.
Two little devils and they're both idiots.
Yeah.
Like he's like which one should I listen to? Like listen to me. I it's not often that I feel bad for a division rival quarterback, but I genuinely feel bad for Justin Herbert because that dude is one of, like, talent-wise, probably one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in the league. And I feel like his early years are just getting wasted right now because Staley is just an atrocious decision maker as a head coach.
Yeah, he's stuck with them. And then we don't even know if the Chargers are going to commit like after this to like letting Staley go. Are they going to try to bring in like a Sean Payton or anyone top dollar? They're just going to keep trying to like.
Sean Payton would be lethal.
A low budget coach in here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're gonna be in cap hell pretty soon too, because I mean, you've got J.C. Jackson under an awful contract. You got Khalil Mack locked up under a big contract. Joey Bosa's locked up under a big contract, and you haven't paid Herbert yet. You've already re-upped. Derwin James. I think did they extend Derwin James yet or not?
He's the highest paid safety in the league right now.
Yeah. So what are you going to do when you got to pay Justin Herbert like $50 million a year?
I mean, and then Eckler's there. They got
Slater.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pay Slater.
I mean, Mike Williams just got paid this past offseason.
Yep. Keenan Allen's making bank. I mean, Keenan Allen's probably making 18, 19 mil a year. Dude, they made those moves this offseason to go for it this year. And listen, there's no saying they can't still do it. Because I mean, they're 4-2.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they're like, we have the tiebreaker over them right now with the win, but they haven't played their best football and they're still 4-2. So that's they've had a. I don't know if you guys have looked at their schedule has been so soft, but that's what you get when you finish third place, and that's a benefit for a team like that. That's a reason why the Eagles made the playoffs last year when they were probably a year ahead of schedule. They were playing a third place schedule last year. That benefited them. So it's the way the NFL, makes the schedules. It's good for those teams that, maybe underachieve a little bit, or teams that are in more competitive divisions like the NFC West and the AFC West, where you can go 9-8 and be on the verge of, like be a tie with the Raiders away from making the playoffs. And you get a third place schedule and you get to play teams like, the Browns and the Jets and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, and maybe it's not so bad finishing third. Finishing first every year, it makes every single schedule completely brutal to deal with. Because like 2019, I look at the Chiefs schedule, I'm like, dude, it's murderer's row. 2020, you look at the schedule, murderer's row. 21, 22, same thing. It's like, dude, it just you get everybody's best shot, and it's like every single week it's like, oh my God, you never feel like you're safe, and I feel like a stuck up, like, I don't know. I made the analogy earlier about, Chiefs fans complaining about Nick Bolton and it being like someone who has a $3 million house saying like, well, he spilled water on the floor, we got to get rid of it. Like, yeah, like Chiefs fans have been very lucky to win 6 straight AFC West championships, but that just makes every season that much more of a grind. And it gets taxing, boys. It gets taxing with these tough schedules.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we're like dunking on the Chargers and the Broncos a lot, but what about the Raiders? They're like, I feel like they're getting out of here like no one's gassing them, and they're literally like they're one of the worst teams in the league right now.
They're just a joke. Like, go ahead. Sorry.
I thought they had one of the best off seasons in the NFL. I was like, okay, this is a team that, they made the playoffs despite all the controversy, despite, the tragedy that happened within their season. It's like, okay, well, they know how to battle adversity. This is, Derek Carr is not, he's not a young guy anymore. He's a vet who's really, shouldered this franchise because ownership's kind of a joke. Like, they really do leave him out to dry sometimes. So, he had Darren Waller, he has Hunter Renfrow. They went out and got Devontae Adams, which I was like, dude, this is awesome. Back from that Fresno State connection. Great. Let's do it. They go out and get Chandler Jones. They go out and get a legit coaching candidate who everyone was trying to like take a run at before, and it just hasn't worked. And he's like, McDaniels is making excuses saying, we just need to learn how to win. We just need to learn how to win. And it's like, yo, they made the playoffs last year. They know how to win, Josh. You need to figure it out as a head coach. Maybe you need to learn how to win, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this about the Raiders and the Raiders and Chiefs Monday night game. Obviously, there were some, I don't know, man. The Chiefs were lucky to get out of that game with a win because there were some calls in that game. The Chris Jones roughing the passer call got all the attention as far as the national media went. But there were some calls on the Raiders that, the Chiefs missed a field goal in the fourth quarter. Matt Wright, who was filling in for Harrison Butker, missed a field goal. And they called defensive holding on the field goal, which no ref in the NFL has called since 2015. And that gave the Chiefs an automatic first down, and we scored a touchdown on that drive. So, and if you look at the replay, I didn't see a lot there. So Raiders fans have a legitimate gripe about the way that game was called, but so do Chiefs fans. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Raiders struggling is just the universe having a roundabout way of continuing to shit on David Carr, because that dude just continues to say some of the dumbest shit in the world on national TV over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately, his little brother's got to bear that burden of him being an absolute idiot. So that's kind of and it's the Raiders, dude. Like, John Madden and Gruden aren't on the sidelines anymore. The Raiders are just a joke to me. It really kind of boils. Derek Carr, 3-14 career against the Chiefs. 3-14. That's the worst winning percentage of any active player against a single opponent.
Wow.
So that's like a super, super, super little brother inferiority complex that he's probably got. And, when you win for the first time in like 5 years at your most hated rival's home field, you probably shouldn't take a victory lap around in your team bus, especially if you're going to come out and get embarrassed the next season by a combined like 83-19. So
yeah, and careful you're talking about you're slandering one of the great 49er quarterbacks all time, David Carr.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have a very soft spot in your heart for David Carr.
I think it all started to go downhill for him when 49er fans were chanting to put him in the game over Alex Smith.
Oh man, dude. You guys got to love Nick Mullins more than David Carr, right?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. 100%. I was told this was sarcasm.
I know. I'm just trying to find somebody to compare David Carr to.
People on Twitter out there, this was sarcasm. I do not love David Carr. But Nick Mullins, you
got to give that disclaimer to people on Twitter all the time. So that's smart.
They don't get it. Sometimes you really have to drive that sarcasm home. Nick Mullins destroyed the Raiders one year, though.
Yeah. Nick Mullins had some nice little. That's Brett Favre Jr., dude. Southern Miss.
Someone give him a shot. And I just wanted to point out, it's kind of weird, like these West divisions. If you could kind of look at it like the 49ers are in a division with like 3 arguably good head coaches. Like Pete Carroll, I think you could say he's a good head coach. Obviously McVay. Yeah, Kingsbury, sure. I think you can go either way right now, but he's been 9-10 wins he made the playoffs.
That's true. That's true.
So until like he completely falls off this season, I'll say he's like good, questionably. And then you can go to the Chiefs and be like, you questionably have 3 bad head coaches around you. Does that make you feel any more secure for the Chiefs' future? Not that you need to worry about these teams.
Yes, like that's like the whole, this offseason, everyone's like, ooh, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos. Can't even think of the Broncos' name. That's how irrelevant they are. Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos are coming up the AFC West. It's going to be tough for the Chiefs to win their 7th straight. Andy Reid against Nathaniel Hackett, Josh McDaniel, and Brandon Staley. Put them all 3 on the same staff, and I'm still confident that the Chiefs are going to win, are going to go, 5-1 or 6-0 in the divisional schedule. Like I thought the division was going to be, and listen, disclaimer, it's week 7. So, anything can happen. Any of these teams can turn it around. Based on the sample set I've seen so far, the Chiefs are definitely the class of the AFC West, but things could start clicking for Russ in Denver. The Raiders' talent could kind of start, the rubber could start meeting the road there. The Chargers have the same record as us, and Herbert and that roster are loaded. So anything can happen. There's nothing like the Chiefs have not won the AFC West for a 7th year in a row. I'm confident that they're in a good position to do so. And pointing out the head coaching complete disadvantage that the other teams are at, it is why. Andy Reid is, the godfather of the AFC West, and Patrick Mahomes is all these other quarterbacks' dad. So, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. And when I brought up Cliff Kingsbury, I saw some very concerned looks from you guys thinking that I was saying that he was a great coach. So we'll talk about it for a second, because DeAndre Hopkins is coming back. And I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, he dropped like this long hype video, like pretty well done, pretty well shot. It was really cool. But then I was kind of like, well, he is coming back from a suspension. It's not like an injury. And I was looking through the comments, and he was actually like filtering and hiding comments, and people were like complaining about it. What are your thoughts on like the Cardinals and like DeAndre Hopkins coming back? Do you think they're going to be better now with D-Hops, or they're going to keep struggling?
Of course you're going to be better by adding a weapon, but you're also adding another weapon in Robbie Anderson, who just last week was actually
Sideshow
fighting,
Bob.
yeah, with Carolina coaches and actually got sent to the locker room, before the game was over. So I don't know like they're almost like the anti-Rams, where they're just kind of like, all right, we're gonna accumulate kind of mid talent that all like doesn't really want to win and has attitude problems, and we're gonna couple it with a quarterback that we're not really too sure about, but we gave a contract anyways. So it's like, I don't know what they're thinking, what they're doing. I don't know if that's Kingsbury's call, if that's Steve Keim being like, this is the guy, but I don't know if that mixture is going to be right for the team, especially where they're heading in a downward trend, and it's not even halfway through the season, where usually they're really good in the first half of the season. And you're like, damn, the Cardinals are on it. That's not so much. So I'm all right. I'm excited to see where this goes with the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's like a car wreck. You drive by and you can't help but look. But to me, Kingsbury is just like that guy in corporate America who's like tall, clean cut, good looking dude, got a good smile and a strong handshake, but there's no real stuff. He's good at delegating stuff, but he doesn't really know how to do anything. So I think he's benefited from having an offense and a quarterback that no one really knew how to defend until recently, until like the second half of last year. And now I think the wheels are kind of coming off of what they got going on there personally. I don't know. I mean, but Kyler could be electric. I don't know. When does the new Call of Duty come out?
It was last week. And
it was last week.
And
they lost to the Seahawks. And that's what so like this move for Robbie Anderson, I don't get it, where they're like, okay, yeah, Hollywood Brown went down, but we have like Rondale Moore. We're getting back D-Hops. You know what we should do? Trade for a receiver. Like that'll help us win. Yeah. It's almost like I fully expect like the Packers to be like, we're struggling. Let's trade for CMC. Like that would be like a dumb move that I would think like the Packers would do, because they're like obviously drafted a quarterback in the first round, drafted a running back when they paid Aaron Jones. It's like Cardinals. Cardinals Packers? What are we doing here, guys?
This is the recipe for success. Let's have a three. We'll go back to running the wishbone offense with Aaron Jones, CMC, and AJ Dillon, and that'll make Rodgers happy. He surely won't threaten to retire after this year.
Oh yeah,
nope.
Right?
Doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, Cardinals. I don't know. I've been storing D-Hop on my fantasy bench for 6 weeks, so I hope he goes off.
Oh, he's hyped. He's hyped.
I kind of am, man. I think. I don't know, man. DeAndre Hopkins I've always thought he's, like, 1A or 1B, one of the best receivers in the league. So who knows? I mean, he could make some noise. It's we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I know
and they got in-season Hard Knocks too. So last year the Colts turned it on whenever that kind of started to go. Because weren't the Colts like 1-4, 1-5 last year, and they almost made the playoffs?
Yep.
So I mean, the Cardinals could get that in-season Hard Knocks bump this year.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Colts, I don't want to get too far off of our divisions, but is Frank Reich getting fired? Is Matt Ryan done? What's going on with them?
Here's the better question: are they going to go after Ryan Tannehill or Kirk Cousins as their next quarterback?
Oh,
because they just seem like they're going to keep taking like mid-level older guys until something works for them.
I saw the
more likely Tannehill.
Yeah,
you guys are hitting perfect, because I saw the tweet and it was like Colts quarterbacks throughout the next like 10 years, and it was all like whoever was up for contract that was like a mid-level quarterback. They just keep on trying once a year.
Yeah. Or do they try? Hey, who knows? Maybe they try to resurrect Josh Rosen's career.
Oh no,
Rosen one. I was saying they got rid of Carson. Heineke's going to show out, and next year Heineke, the quarterback for the Colts. Full circle.
Dude, yeah, that's perfect.
Heineke, Super Bowl MVP. Put my money on it.
Dang.
Unless Brock Purdy takes over for the Niners, because Brock Purdy's the future of this team. I've been saying it for months.
Brock, Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant, right? Yeah.
He looked great in preseason. Looked great in camp. This guy's got
the pride of Ames, Iowa.
But yeah, I mean, anything else you guys want to touch on in the divisions?
Do you guys think that Sean McVay draws lines to shave his beard?
No,
Do you think he has an aesthetician who shaves his beard for him?
No, he doesn't do it. Yeah, he definitely has someone else. The weird thing to me is like the hold you back coach, like on the sideline, like the guy that's just their job to like
just grabbing his belt.
Yeah,
right?
like that is so weird. Like, why can't you just like stand behind the line? Like
he's got to be. I mean, that guy's got to be at some point in time like touching McVay's ass crack, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's had to have happened.
But that's weird to me. If you're like you're an adult and you're like at a party and they're like, oh, what do you get paid to do? And I'm like, I just hold the grown man, like I pull him back so he doesn't like get too excited.
Yeah, I'm an NFL coach's emotional Sherpa. Like what are you doing?
They need to get him one of those. You know when you they put the leash on the kids?
Mm-hmm.
Just get one of those.
Yes. Yeah. Or make it like an electric fence for a dog where he has the collar on, and if he crosses the line, he just gets zapped real quick and he goes back.
I think Robert Saleh actually has one of those guys.
Yeah,
he does. Can you imagine how much of a beast you would have to be to hold Robert Saleh back?
Right.
Dude, that's got to be like the mountain from Game of Thrones.
You just completely shaded Sean McVay right there. You don't think he can put some fight into that hold back guy?
Listen, I bet Sean McVay is quicker to fight than Robert Saleh, but I guarantee you that Robert Saleh is quicker to end a fight than Sean McVay.
That seems legitimate. Yes, valid.
All right,
McVay will start it, and Saleh will finish it.
All right, last thing we could touch on following that note. Out of the coaches in each of these divisions, who is winning a fight, like a Royal Rumble style fight? Who's coming out on top? Which head coach?
Dude, are we head coaches?
Head coaches, because D'Amico would win. I'd go that, but so we'll just go head coaches.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely head coaches.
I think Pete is getting put out quick.
Pete's out quick. Hackett's out quick. Josh McDaniel's probably out quick. I think honestly, it comes down to you're gonna have a hard time getting Andy Reid out of the ring. That's a lot of man.
I feel like he's sneaky strong.
Yeah, but I think like you see these, and you guys are from California. Like us Midwest guys, we see like these videos of like California teens getting in fights, and it's like I kind of had this like intimidation factor. Like when I played in college, we had a couple Cali guys. I'm like, you guys. A little bit dangerous, a little bit off kilter. And Kyle Shanahan kind of gives that vibe with like the flat bill and the cooler hats. And I mean, I don't know, his dad was probably tough on him when he was younger. So he's probably mean as shit. It's Shanahan or Andy. And I got to think just from a fitness perspective, it's got to be Shanahan. I mean, Shanahan's going to toss McVay's little ass. And then I think it comes down to, Shanahan's just going to wear Andy out, and Andy's going to be like, you know what? Don't even throw me over the ring. I'm just going to walk out. You can have it. I'm going to get some ribs.
Yeah. If it's like this, like Marvel hallway fight scene where they're working their way to each other, like Andy's getting gassed by then.
Shanahan's still sprinting at him. Andy's like, dude, hold on, dude. Oh, God.
It's like Brandon Staley just won't stop trying to fight me. He just keeps going for it.
Yeah, Staley's. I forgot about Staley. He's a little psycho. He's a wild card. Maybe it comes down to Shanahan and Staley. I still take Shanahan though. He's got that Cali teen like mean streak in him. I think it's probably Shanahan. How tall is Shanahan?
I'm gonna give Cliff Kingsbury a little bit of credit here. I think he's his dad was in the military. He seems like he's really in shape, and he also seems like that weirdo that would just stand there for a little bit and let everyone kind of beat each other up, and then do like a dirty move.
That's true.
Like, win by DQ. Like, you know what I mean?
He's got a little bit of like Matthew McConaughey, like mysterious Texan off kilterness in him. Like that could be something to. I completely forgot about Staley and Kingsbury, if we're being honest. I mean,
I think Kingsbury would be too soft. Like he's watching the draft in his giant mansion in loafers, in the softest couch and the biggest TV. Like that guy is not putting up a fight.
That's true. That's true.
But,
El Chapo lived a life of luxury too, and he was like the most dangerous man in the world. So, and Kingsbury could be dangerous, but Brandon Staley would go into it with the worst strategy possible and just like run straight at Andy Reid right off the bat, and Andy would just toss him out. So, I mean, he'd be done first, I'd say.
So the thing is, if I block the punches with my face, like it makes it optimal. And it's like, that's not a good strategy, Brandon.
What if I throw myself out of the ring? Yeah, dude, go for it.
I think Hackett and Staley would just be going at it like doing the dumbest techniques, and they just like cancel themselves out.
It's like that Zoolander where they're breakdance fighting. Nothing's really happening.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. Those Zoolander is a good comparison for the other three coaches in the AFC West.
Oh man, well that was a good way to end it, I think.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, thank you, Charles, for being on here. We're gonna put all your stuff in the description, but if you want to let them know one more time where they can find you.
Yeah. Arrowheadaddict.com for the best Chiefs coverage on the entire internet. I don't know about the dark web, but for sure the good internet. Don't go to the dark web. That's a bad place to be. Don't be weird. And then you can follow me on Twitter at CRob5769.
Yeah, thank you guys. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Charles, for being here again. And yeah, we had a good time.
Awesome.
Appreciate
it was
you.
great. Thanks for having me, guys. This was awesome.
See you guys. Hopefully we'll do it again for like the Super Bowl matchup, potentially.
Super Bowl 50. It was 57. Yeah, Super Bowl 57. Let's go.
We'll have to plan it out. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
See ya.
Absolutely. See you guys.